Today is the 26th, and I am going to go through the entire study guide in hopes that we have it all finished. This is the study guide, and just to kind of recap what I've already told this group, the test is tomorrow. It is on Friday. 100 points in its own little weird category in the grade book. It is 21 questions. They are A, B, C, or D answer choices, meaning Scantron type test, which is nice. Okay, this is the study guide. I'm going to start out by saying that this vocab is just listed for the sake of being there, meaning it's not part of the test. But if we asked you something like, find the sum of these digits, or find the difference of these numbers, or find the product, that's why that vocab is still listed up there. Okay? Yes?
You were recording?
Yes.
It says you're recording.
Yes. I'm trying. Here we go. So, starting out with number 1 right here. And I'm just going to kind of do each one for the sake if anybody didn't see what to do. Okay. So, the first one here is adding. We need to add 234 plus 84. We need to line up the right-hand digits. And I got 318. Okay. The second one right here is 693. Take away 99. Okay, and I will say, guys, it is early, so if I make a mistake, please tell me. I'm going to borrow. And 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 9, and 5. There's number 2. Okay, the third one right here, 872 times 43. Okay, one of the biggest issues is just copying it wrong. I'll put a placeholder. Okay. Yes.
On number 2, for the subtracting, I got 614. And it's because I borrowed
Okay. Do you see my steps though? Are you okay with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got 9 from the 9, and then I gave it to them.
Okay. We're good on that one? Okay. On the fourth one here, one of the biggest issues is still getting which number in the house. The 5 is on the outside. The 255 is on the inside. The other issue is making sure you've got the right amount of zeros up top if they're supposed to be there. So 5 can't go into 2. Goes into 25 5 times. And don't forget to do the 1, and it is 0. Okay, 51 or 051, either way.
Whenever I'm doing, I usually, whenever I see the small one, I put that on the outside, because that's smaller.
But be careful, because with decimals, it can be backwards. It's always what second goes outside the house. What second? Okay, now I'm going to do the next couple. I'm trying to make it all lined up all nice and pretty here. Okay, so we'll do these. I'm on the decimal questions. It is 34.11, 9.8. I personally put placeholders in spots just to make sure. This one's adding. With adding, you line up the decimals and bring that decimal straight down. And the answer is 43.91. On the next one, it looks like subtraction. It is 97.02. Take away 33. Now, guys, 33. If I ask you how to write $33, that decimal is behind it. That means when you line it up, it has to be, if it's add or subtract, that's the only way it can be lined up. Please find your study guide. Eli, find your study guide. If you don't have one, go get one out of the back of the black tray. Yes.
The decimal is supposed to go in the front of it, and so I did it where like the 2 was above the 3 and the 0 above.
Yeah, no. Listen. In money, if it was in the front, it would be 33 cents. So think about that way, like $33. And even if you want to write it, on the edge of your paper, make it look like money as in, I guess you'd say what mom would write a check or something like. Y'all know it looks like that. Most of you, if you wrote that on your paper, you'd say, yep, that's right. And if you wrote this, you would kind of go, wait, that looks kind of funny. That doesn't look like $33. You always want it to look like money and then line it up, okay? That's just a trick of mine that if it'll help, use it. No, he's fine. Sit down. He's fine. Okay, so number 6, there we go on the subtraction. Okay, I'm going to try 7. Here we go with multiplying. Okay, and let's scoot it up a little bit. It's kind of weird, but I'm trying to make it big enough for everyone in the class to be able to see. Placeholder. And you should already have this worked out. You should only be checking your answers, but kind of have some stinky grades out there today. Looking at multiplying decimals, you want to count over how many numbers up here are behind the decimals. There are 3 behind the decimal, 1, 2, 3. So that means you want to bounce it over 3 times. That is the only place that decimal can be. Now, you could have a 0 here or a 0 on the end, but that decimal has to be between the 9 and the 5. Okay. Number 8. We got probably division. Yes. Okay. On this one, the 0.05 is outside, 4.55 is inside. Now, on division, we got to remember, if we bounce it over twice here to make a whole number, got to do it twice here and bring it up to that answer key. A lot of us just forget. Okay, 5 into 4 won't happen. It'll go 9 and once. You got it. Okay. Be careful. One way, and I'm just giving you a hint, on a B, C, or D answer choice test, what we can do is take this answer. One answer might be 0.91. One answer might be 9.1. You're going to have to look at where the decimal should be, because that's really what we're testing on, is like a lot of decimal placement. Okay, looking at simplifying, I'm going to go down to the next section. The next section says, right here, it says I can simplify fractions. Okay. When simplifying, we are taking a fraction like 22 over 24. We are trying to find the greatest common factor that goes into both the numbers. So for this one, the GCF is what? 2. So in my brain, I am dividing by 2. You don't have to show that. That's just kind of what my brain is doing. So 22 divided by 2 is, and 24 divided by 2 is 12. Now always ask yourself, can anything go into this? 11 and 12? No. Is my top number bigger? No. So I'm done on that one. Okay. The next one, 50 over 150. It is 50. Listen, this simplifies by 50s. Now, if you didn't see 50s, let's say you did 5s or 10s, it doesn't matter. In the end, we should all get 1/3. It is 1/3. Did you do it differently and not get 1/3 and you're wondering why? What'd you do? Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, so let me just show you, because listen, I want you to realize that all it is, like if you did this one by 2, you're not wrong. Just watch. If you did this by 2, can y'all see? Okay. And if I divide by 2,
It's 150.
it's 150, sorry. Once again, it is barely 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay, divide by 2 would be 25, and divide by 2 here would be 2 into 15, 75. Okay, then what? So once you think of money, think of 1/4, 3/4. What goes into it? 5s, okay. So, or 25. So listen, let's say you only see it as 5s. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 75 divided by 5 is 15. It ends in 5, so it is still divisible by 5. I need you to realize, listen, the key is that there's nothing wrong with this process. It's just that you got to simplify more times if you don't use what's called the GCF. That's not bad. It's just that usually if kids are using all those steps, you're just more likely to make a mistake. But we should all come out with the same answer.
On mine, I was doing GCF, and the only thing I got from it was 2, so that's why I did that.
2 times 75? Yeah.
75.
Okay, and that's fine. And then here, listen, the trick is, the one rule that I want, like, other than the 2's rule, make sure you realize that if it ends in, right here, 5s or 0s, you know it's divisible by 5s. So if it ends in 5s or 0s, you know it's divisible by 5. So always check that rule, because a lot of times that rule applies. Okay? Yes?
Can I get some water quickly, please?
Sure. Yes?
I got 5 15ths and then I did simplify.
So just one more step. And the good thing, I mean, honestly, tomorrow, like with A, B, C, or D answer choices, I think you realize that if 5/15 isn't one of your answer choices, keep going. Something's up. You know, that's the good thing about A, B, C, or D. The next one, I got 2736. Let me go down just a little bit. I'm on that one. 2736. What goes into it? 9 is your GCF. So 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 4 is 36.
I'm sorry for the interruption. We are going to have to do a test this morning, so we'll be turning the bells off. So I just want you to be aware that the bells will be turned off this morning. Thank you.
Should be a Scantron test. And the last one, 24/7. Listen, all it is with that one is it is improper. The top number is bigger than the bottom, right? So we've got to change it. We've got to divide. 24 divided by 7. 7 goes into 24, 3. Okay, and we get this backwards check mark thing right here. 3 and 3/7. Big 3 and 3/7 is that answer for 24/7. It's just another way of simplifying. Okie dokie. Good on those? Okay, converting. Listen, we just had a test on this. Listen, I'm still grading it in fact. Okay, converting decimals to fractions. Here we go. If it is 0.4, that means 4/10. It is in the tenths column. So that means 4/10. But we gotta simplify. Divide the top and the bottom by 2, which equals 2/5. There you go. Okay. The next one is 1 4/10. So, just like I said, 1 4/10. It sounds just like I said, 1 4/10. But 4/10 simplifies to 2/5. So that one is just a reminder that don't forget and, don't drop that front number. Okay, yes?
I feel like I do better with like the simplifying that doesn't go on for like the little.
Yes. The littler numbers is usually, yes. The more simplifying you do, like by the time you're in 8th and 9th grade, you won't even think about simplifying. It'll be so just normal and natural that you'll see weird numbers like 30 and 60 and you'll be like, oh, that's 1/2. But right now, y'all are still just getting used to it. So, it just takes time. That's all. Yes. A little bit last year and then really kicks in this year. I can't lie. 4 and 45 what? Hundredths. Listen, that thing should be over 100. If it has 2 digits behind the decimal, it should have 2 digits behind the 1, meaning zeros. Now, what goes into both those numbers? 5. So my final answer is 9/20. Listen, I need you to watch out something. When we ask you to simplify fractions, I need you to realize that if we ask you to choose the one that's in simplest form and you choose this, it is wrong. Like, you won't get credit tomorrow. It's got to be the one in simplest form. So be careful when you're choosing. Don't just choose the first thing you see. Okay? 0.08. How should I read 0.08? 8 over what? 100. It's kind of weird, but there's 2 digits, so there's 2 digits. Now, the GCF of 8 and 100 is
2.
Let's go bigger. 4. Meaning I get 2 on the top. It actually is. No. Give me a second. 4 into 100 is 25. I was thinking it was 20 for a second. Okay. So, if you did 2 and you got 4/50ths, all it is 4/50ths. They're both even and they simplify again by 2. You got to do 2 twice. Okay?
On the one where we have the 45 hundredths, I got 925, so I don't know what I did for the 100. I did that.
You're thinking, listen, all it is you're thinking there's 5 quarters in $1. Like 5 into 100. And do it this way. Like, think about 5 into 10 is 2, and 5 into 0 is 0. Just getting confused if it's 20s or 25s. There was a lot of that on the test the other day. A lot of, you just chose the wrong number. Okay, so that's the decimals to fractions section. Just did all those. Okay. Now, converting fractions to decimals. Okay, this was also on the last test. Here we go. We've got 1/9. Guys, we literally take 1/9. We take the top number, the numerator, put it in the house. The 9 goes outside the house as the divisor. Okay, we add a decimal and a 0. That's how we create the decimal, guys. 9 goes into 10 once. Even if I add one more 0 and I get a 10? Yes, it is something called repeating, and we put a repeater bar. Gotta have a repeater bar. So you could have 0.1 repeating, you could have 0.11 repeating, you could have 0.1 repeating. It's up to you, however you want to write it. Yes?
I did 0.1 repeating because I knew that it was repeating.
Right then, yes. That is fine. That is fine. Yes?
And all of the fractions,
Uh-huh.
I always just take fractions.
Be careful. The one thing you want to check tomorrow on the test is, like if we ask for a decimal answer, make sure you choose a decimal answer. Because we might have thrown a fraction in there. There were quite a bit of y'all that did that on that last test. And then when we kind of tweaked it yesterday, y'all realized and fixed it. So, it's okay. Just take your time. The good thing about tomorrow is it's only 21 questions. Some are like place value, which shouldn't take you that long. Okay? Adding shouldn't take you that long. So, you kind of got time to work on the other ones. Okay, 1 3/5. Here we go. I'm going to just do the 3 divided by the 5. Keeping that 1 for kind of later. If I add a decimal and a 0, I get 30, meaning 6. I knew what he meant. He meant 5 times 6 is 30. So if I put it all back together, my final answer is 1.6. You want to make sure you go back and get that whole number from the answer. And then the 0.6 is in the back end. And you might have a 0 on the end. That's fine. Okay, 5 divided by 8. 5/8 is 5 divided by 8. If I add the decimal and the 0, 8 times 6 is 48. I have to add another 0 because it's not finished and it's not repeating yet, so I've got to do something. Let's see, 8 times 2 is 16. And if I bring down the 0, 8 times 5 is 40. That decimal equals 5/8. There was no whole number, so that is my answer. 0.625. It's all based around division. And 2 5/6. Okay, I'm going to do the 5 divided by the 6. Keeping that 2 for later. 6 times 8 is 48. Bring down a 0. 6 times 3 is 18. I get a 2 again. Bring down a 0. I get a 3 again. What is happening, guys? Repeating. Which number? 3. Just the 3. So put it all back together. It would be that whole number of 2.83 repeating. Just the 3 is repeating. Listen, one way that we could confuse you is tomorrow on the answer key, one of your answers be like this. Oops, sorry. Thank you. Let me know because I'm trying. It's okay. Like that. This is different than that. This would be something like this. Well, do you want the 8 to repeat? No, we want the 3 to keep repeating. That would be a wrong answer. So be careful to kind of watch where those repeater bars are. Okay? Question? That would be wrong. Because this one, this answer right here, if I were to write it out, I want you to think about it. It means 2.83, the only number repeating is 3's. Okay? So if they put a repeater bar like this, That means they want this pattern. Well, is that the pattern we want? No. So be super careful that when you choose your answer tomorrow, you find one that has the right repeater bar. I mean, if it's supposed to have one, that's all.
Like, if we didn't have this, we didn't have anything else for us to study with.
Guys, you can study with anything in that binder. Look back through old tests. Work math problems. Like if you missed it on a test, maybe take that test and rework it. And see if you can get the right answer. Things like that. That's the best thing to do, to be honest. I mean, that would be a great help. So, especially the concepts you know you may not know. Maybe try to jot down, like when we get to the place value. Maybe try to jot down a place value chart. You know, you can use scratch paper tomorrow, so that wouldn't hurt. Okay, going up to these add and subtract. Here we go. We got 2 1/3, 5 1/4. Common denominator of 12. Bless you, bless you. And adding, it should be 7 and 7/12. And it doesn't simplify, so you're good to go. Okay, I'm going to do the next one. Okay, 1 second. There we go. 7/16 minus 2/8. Need a common denominator of 16. Okay, 7 minus 4, 3/16. 8 times 2 is 16. 2 times 2 is 4. That's how I'm getting it. Okay, the next one. I got 4/7 plus 9/11. Okay, I'm going to do 77. Okay, 7 times 11 is 77. So 4 times 11 is 44. 11 times 7 is 77. 9 times 7 is 63. Okay, so you got to check numerators on that one first, because I'll be honest, if your numerators are wrong, it's probably kind of wrong. Now, it is addition, so I'm literally adding 44 plus 63. I get a 7, 7, 8, 9, 10 over that. 107 over 77. Here is the biggie. This is bigger than that. It is improper. To change it, you're going to take 107 in the house and you're going to divide by 77. We got to make a mixed number. It only goes one time. And there's 30 left over. It is that weird backwards check mark thing. It is 1 and 30/77. So when you make that mixed number, it is just like that. Listen, I'm still checking. I'm checking for 3 times 10. Would 3 go into this? Nope. I'm checking 5. I'm checking 6. I know 7 has 7 times 11, so I'm kind of checking that. But it doesn't simplify. Okay? You got to keep checking and making sure. Listen, hint, hint. We might have that as one of your answers. If you give me that as the answer, it's wrong because it is improper. That's another way to kind of, I hate to say trick kids, but you got to focus and get all the way to the end of it. Okay. And this, I think there's one more, 9 and 5/6 minus 6 1/3. Okay. It is, common denominator is 6. And I get 3/6. I get 3 and 3/6, which simplifies to 3 and
1/3.
1/2. Listen, be careful. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 6 2. Super slow on that, like just triple check. And that was that last one on the top. Okay, GCF, here we go. I'm going to be honest, I've had a lot of kids kind of skip the homework on some of this GCF and LCM lately. And with the absences and things, mine, theirs, whatever, some of you might want to kind of focus in here and learn it again. Here we go. So like GCF, greatest common factor. You are taking these 3 numbers, like 12, 36, and 42. You are listing all the multiplication tables that go with those numbers. So I'm listing them, starting with 1. Seeing if 2 works. Seeing if 3 works. When I reach 4, if it's on that side, I'm done. All those are factors. Each side, that side and that side. Now I'll do 36. Okay, now I do 42. Okay, now I'm looking for the greatest one they have in common. What is it? 6. GCF is 6 on that one, guys. You want the greatest one they have in common. And it can be on either side. It doesn't matter which sides they're on. Okay, the next one for GCF is 25, 50, and 200. Okay, here's some multiplication tables. I get this, and I get that. I get this. Trying to make sure I don't miss any. And this. This. Five. Okay, so now, that is fine, thank you. Which one? I missed one. Does $2, think about $2, does it deal with quarters?
Yes.
How many quarters are in $2?
8.
8. I missed one right here, guys. Right there, I should have 8 times what? 25. So if I, listen, that just made me miss the answer. Because 25 is the greatest. Listen, even I make mistakes. You got, if you look back at this, take the biggest one of this and see if it works in these. But your GCF on this one is 25. I knew something was wrong. I couldn't figure it out. Okay. And greatest common factor on the next one is 62 and 47. Oh, 42. I knew I said something wrong as soon as y'all started fixing me. Okay. 1 times 62. 2 times 31. Right? Yeah, because it's even, guys. 8. I'm over here trying. 9. 10. Did anyone get any other factors? I think that's it. 4. 4 would be 22. Does 4 go into 22? No. So I'm kind of checking this one. I know 2 would work because 2 would be 21. 3 would work on this one. It'd be 14. And 6 times 7. So even if I look over here, would 6 work on this? 7? No. Because 7 times 9 is 63. So I'm just kind of checking these. 2 14s would be 28. Okay, it is 2. As far as I can tell right this second, going quick at 8 o'clock in the morning, it is 2. Okay? It just takes me a minute. Like I've always said, I don't know my 62's tables, so I have to sit here and kind of think about them. Okay, least common multiple. We can do this. Here we go. LCM. You are skip counting by those numbers. So, you want the one that they have in common. If I skip count by 5s and 7s, I would end up, do not be packing up. We have plenty of time. Please. And it would be 35. Least common multiple. The next two are 12 and 9. Yeah, you are. It would be 36. The next one, 13 and 5. I know that all my 5s are going to end in 5 and 0. So I'm going to look for the first one that ends in 5 and 0.
30.
Not 13s.
30.
But listen, 13 doesn't make 30. $65. Because down here we would eventually have 65. Well, and that's kind of how my brain works, is I realize these are all going to end in 5s and 0s. So whichever one's the first one up here to end with 5s and 0s is the one I'm going to do. Okay? On 9 and 4, it would be what? 36. And I'm just kind of checking. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 4 is 36. And this would be eventually 36. Guys, we still have 3 or 4 minutes. Relax. And the last ones, we're dealing with place value charts right here. Okay. That one is in the which column? Ones. That one is in the hundreds. Make sure that you got the THS on the end. One way to trick you is to say letter A is 100 and letter B is hundredths. Be very careful you choose the answer you want. And this one is in the hundreds. Now, tonight, study. Use the study guide. Use notes, old tests.